I want to talk about fear. We're coming into an area where fear is going to be big, it's going to be challenging because we're going into a big unknown. Sometimes that's the hardest thing to face is the unknown. Is to trust what's going on around you, to unsure things that you don't. So you're trying to find what you can trust. And sometimes we're tested to see what we do trust when we don't know what's going on. All we have is just a hint sometimes. And it's trying to hear what is the truth that's being said. And sometimes it's not what we think it is. Sometimes it's what, everyone's saying something else. Sometimes you gotta trust the ones closest to you the most to know the truth. But basically, I'm trying to say is we need to come into unity with one another. We need to stop looking around and blaming one another for what our problems are. Black, white, Chinese, not Scottish, but Irish. Irish was just as bad as the blacks. In some countries, it's considered slaves, looked down upon, dirty. And, everyone's got their own story. And instead of trying to say, oh, because my family wasn't a slave, I have Scottish Irish blood in me. I have Scottish, I have Irish, I have English. And my family has stories that we're not perfect. Does that make me less than someone else or better than someone else? In some ways it does, and sometimes it makes me lesser than somebody else. So, what makes one story better than the other? We have to look beyond our own circumstances. Even though they say if you walk a mile in someone's moccasins, flip-flops, boots, shoes, you might know someone else's story. And sometimes it's trying to look beyond who we are and our own fears to actually see someone else is worse than we are. And sometimes we just need to just give up on our own desires to please somebody else. And sometimes it's not easy giving up on one's own desires to please someone else. Because sometimes when they say, if I forgive myself, I get tired of hearing that. I gotta forgive myself. I gotta do this for myself. And I'm one of the best persons to be selfish. As much as I try to help people, I am one of the most selfish people out there. But I try to be for somebody else, but sometimes it's not easy to put one's own fears, one's own desires, one's own thoughts aside. But sometimes we got to come to that place where we don't give in to fear. We don't give in to our own desires. We got to learn to care for other people. And it just takes time. It's not easy. So that's just a thought for today. So hope everyone's having a good day. Have a great weekend, guys, and hopefully things will get better. We just got to hang in there. Okay?